Hey everybody. So this is a very serious topic about domestic violence. And I am someone who has been through a domestic violence situation where a man who was my quote unquote first boyfriend, um, we were not minors when this happened. In fact, when I met him, he was not a minor. He was a couple years older than me. I was 16 to his 18 when we first met. And then when we stopped associating with each other, I think he was 20. Yeah, I think he was he 20? I think he was 20 to my 18 when we last saw each other. Anyway, why am I bringing this up? I was obsessed with him. I thought that he was the end all be all. Oh my gosh. And I was super young at the time and everything. Um, my story is not everybody's story. And I'm not going to get into my story here because I don't have a lot of time because I'm on TikTok using a 10-minute long filter. So. But why I bring that up is just to give a little street cred to what I'm going to say. I think that we abuse the phrase victim blaming, where when someone gives a heartfelt bit of advice and or plea for a typically battered woman to get out of a bad situation, people will say that you're victim blaming. And recently, how did this go? There's a content creator that I follow named, I don't even want to say the person's name because it's not important, but she was calling out another content creator. And she was saying that this content creator called the person she called herself calling out that, like, oh, are you surprised that she is doing this thing, which the thing in question was she was drinking Starbucks, right? If this sounds familiar, then you know who I'm talking about. Anyway, she was like, are you surprised that she's drinking Starbucks? This is someone who told women that we're dumb if we let a man beat up on us or something like that. Or something to that effect, or like, you should leave if a man beats you or something. And funny enough, the comment section, at least on Facebook, where I saw this video, didn't go quite how the original poster probably expected it to go, because most of the women were saying, yeah, I agree that you need to get out of an abusive relationship. Like, she wasn't trying to hate on victims. She's telling you to stop being one. And I was like, wow, okay, female empowerment, because at the end of the day, you have to get yourself out of these situations. Like, that's just the truth. Is it your fault that someone is putting their hands on you? No. Am I here for victim blaming? Absolutely not. But you have to leave, or else it is not going to get any better. And unfortunately, the longer you stay, and I did see some comments saying this, but I know this too, the longer you stay, the more entitled that person feels to you. And they'll actually see it as a betrayal. I mean, more so when you attempt to leave if you've put up with their abuse for an extended amount of time, versus if you set an early boundary with them where the first time they put their hands on you, you leave. The investment is not the same. There is an investment on the part of the abuser. Whether people, like, it's so many things that we have backwards now because it makes people feel uncomfortable to acknowledge them. And, the whole thing, oh my gosh, there was a sad story here in the Houston area of this woman who was a white South African woman. I only specify because some people might think South African and assume she looked like me. No, she was a white woman. She went to Brazil seemingly to follow a man who physically abused her, and he ended up murdering her. And then I think he killed himself. And some people were in the comments and being a bit hateful about it, like, oh, she plays stupid games, wins stupid prizes. Okay, that's not necessary. That's just, you're like, dude, seriously, you're just, there's something wrong with you to make comments like that. That goes too far. But to simply say, like, ladies, this is why you can't go back, that this is a real issue and stuff, I don't think that that's victim blaming. I think that that's just acknowledging this is why you can't go back, when someone is abusive. And you have to assume that they are not going to change, because let's be honest, usually they will not change, and you think that they changed overnight, that, you were gone for a few days, a month, 2 months, 3 months, and that they're a whole new man. No. They are the same abusive, obsessive, possessive person who wants to get you back and who's going to hurt you again. But yeah, this stuff has been coming up on my feed a lot lately about abuse. There was this one story from this page I follow. I think it's Tima from Brooklyn on not TikTok, on Instagram, and this guy was screaming at his wife or partner or whatever. We'll just say partner. And there was a child in her arms, and the child was young and yet old enough to know what was going on. And it was so sad. And like some of the comments were like, oh, I bet you she went back to him, or just things like that. And you have to leave. You have to. And if there's something that that you're missing, like, oh, well, I don't have the money, then it's time to brainstorm about how to get the money. Oh, I don't have a car, then brainstorm on how to get one. Put that energy into how to get one. And yes, there are resources out there, and there are people who will help, but you got to get out. So that's my commentary, about abusive relationships. It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility. Okay? I hope that makes sense. It's not victim blaming. I want you to live. I don't want you to be another sad, tragic story of, this man taking your life. I don't want to see that happen. So please listen. Anyway, that's it. Take care. Bye.